Yeah, we designated spitters live every week. Live, designated homie, cause we spit heat. We designated spitters, Francis and Pete. Yes, talking Yankee baseball, hip hop for the streets. Yup, we designated. Yup, we innovative. Yup, we designated. Spitters time that you know. Yup, we designated. Yup, we innovative. Yup, we designated. Spitters, let's start the show.
Welcome to the last designated Spittaz episode of 2021, but it's not the last show. You guys know when January 2 hits, we kicking off NY1 News TV. Look, we didn't plan it that way. We just got the honors.
Yeah. This is how it is, man.
Many are cookie crumble fans.
Many are called, few are chosen, however the saying goes.
With great power comes great responsibility. Ben Parker taught me that.
I am.
Rest in peace, Ben Parker.
Rest in pease, Ben Parker.
As a matter
of, I'm fucking with y'all. I'm not gonna no spoilers on this side. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Everybody mad at me because I saw the movie, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do that.
But I ain't gonna spoil you guys. Go see it. Spider-Man fam, what's good? I know Spider-Man a fan of the chat. Big fan of NY News.
Oh,
he hit me up. He said, "Fam, look, man, we gonna get Mysterio up on this shit. You ever need help with your computer setup? You need help with some backgrounds? Mysterio
he got you.
So
that's why all the
peoples.
Low key. That's why all the new intros and stuff for next year is so fire. Mysterio came through.
Quentin Beck
hooked it
100%.
up. You know what I mean?
Yep. He was
that's
like,
why our shit is tight right now.
Imagine that shit. Like we had like superior graphics, and I'd just be like, yes, and I just like transition right into him real quick.
They would love that.
I got a fucking imagination, fam. I tell you.
Listen, man.
I got an imagination, man.
I wanted to say, man. I mean, that this is the last episode of 2021. Just wanted to start with gratitude, man. Your fans, you guys have been phenomenal this year.
The best.
The best. It's true, man. You guys have just been amazing on Twitter, the live chats and everything. But like for this podcast, like individually, specifically, like this has been so much fun to do. Like you guys,
hell yeah,
you respond. I read the comments every single week this drops. I go in the comments. I've seen the constructive criticism and I appreciate that. I've seen the praise and I appreciate that too. I've seen the love. I appreciate that. Like you guys are there, man. You guys are there every week. And when we don't drop, y'all there. Like,
yep.
Hey,
facts.
What happened? Like,
facts.
y'all coming back, whatever. Like, and we're like, yeah, we gotta. I guess some of y'all are a little. You guys got some past traumas, I think, from the last podcast. So they see one episode. They see one episode like we don't cut. They're like, wait, what happened? Hold on.
Don't tell me this is ending. Nah,
like,
this can't end.
It's not gonna be like that.
Nah,
man, you guys have been great, and it's been so much fun. Like we said, we were talking. No, not we were talking. Pete was saying it when we did our extended live chat for the announcement, the big announcement. He was saying, man, really can't ask for a better, host to work with. Pete's a great guy. Yeah. You guys know him. You guys love him. Same over here, man. I'm blessed to do this and to talk to you guys, and the fact that y'all like listening to us talk about this team, man. Like,
yep.
The dream come true, guys.
And even like right now too, like, when there's not stuff going on, because I have a few people reaching out and be like, Pete, well, hopefully in January, it ends for you guys and you guys can jump right back in and, have some baseball left. And look, that's great. But look, this team that we have compiled, because again, it is a we thing. I might have done the talking and bringing people in, but people want to see what we're doing overall. Who else is coming in? What are your thoughts? And when you break all that stuff down and everybody sees what we were that night, me and France were talking offline before this thing started. And, we even said it. We said, I've sent the video of the reveal with the live chat and all that to a bunch of people. And everybody was like, how many times have you guys all done this? I'm like, well, this is the first time us as a team. Like, damn, that went amazing. Yep. Like, that shit was really good. I sent it to Chris from Ball9 the other day because, we've been trying to do some things together and all that. And he was like, I'll get back to you when I watch. He watched the whole thing. He was like, man, that was phenomenal. He was like, that was amazing. I'll be honest. I watched it like 5 times already. Start to finish.
I've probably seen it about 3 times. Shout out Chris from Ball9 too. We appreciate that.
Facts. And a lot of people reached out and were really impressed with how it went. And you guys know the team already, man. This team is gonna give it to you how they feel. You guys already know Gary Sheffield. You guys already know you saw how Christian is. You saw how Chris is. You even saw how the Twins are. Like they said, they're younger, but they got the old school vibe. In the sense of not like we were talking about that before, not really old school, but they got the CNI. They got the CNI of baseball. I kind of want to see the talent. I want to see what a person does for us, not just look at numbers and then try to cancel every argument out by saying, well, there's a number that says I'm right. You know what I mean?
They know the game. Those kids know the game.
So
those kids know the game, and you guys are gonna love the Twin Bill podcast. I'm really one of the ones I'm really excited for, man, because a lot of people in their age group, you guys are talking bullshit, like pure bullshit.
Thanks.
I listen to you
we're
talk.
We're gonna talk about that today too.
Huele mal for my Hispanic fans out there. I listen to you talk, I just can't. But the Twin Bill podcast is gonna set a lot of y'all straight.
It's gonna be dope, man. I'm excited.
Brought to you by NYY News TV.
Brought to you by NYY News TV. And for the people out there, right? Because I got this message a lot. I got a lot of people message me. They go, Pete, I love Designated Spittaz, but I need it like back on Spotify and all that because I haven't kept up with that, and I understand that's my bad. Here's the great thing. January comes, guys. We got a beautiful thank you to Chris fam from the one, the only NYYST podcast. Chris hit me up, guys. He was like, Pete, look, I'm going to handle that stuff. I said, Chris, what's up? What are we doing? He's okay with me sharing this. I know that because I want everybody to show the work they're doing too. Chris said, Pete, send me the logos over. Let me show you what I can do. This man came back and made one for every single podcast, and they are hella fire. Hella fire. So we're going to have all those out. It's going to be on every major platform. Our podcast, NYYST, Chef, Twin Bill, Knights at the Round Table, Felix. Everything is going to be out there for release the day of the podcast dropping. You're going to get it. So, guys, we got everything covered right now for you. Once January hits, get ready. You guys already know January 1, a 2-hour live chat. January the next day, January 2, Designated Spittaz premieres and starts off the channel for the podcast. We're excited. So, friends, man, I just got to ask you, 2021 is past. I'm happy to see the year go. It's absolutely flew for me. It's been unbelievable. An amazing year. Probably one of the most amazing years of my life. Before you, what stood out for the Designated Spittaz podcast in 2021?
Yeah, man. Oh, well, there we go. I see the cameras doing its thing. Give me a second.
Hold on, folks.
I'm gonna mess with it. I'm gonna get it back.
Come back.
Hey, we back. Listen, man. Biggest standout from 2021. I want to say, listen, man, we were right. That's what I want to say. I want to say we were right a lot. We were right a lot. And the reason I say that is because we could be wrong, and I think we both own that really well. And we're okay being wrong, right? We're okay being wrong. But this season, we called a lot of things out for you guys early, and I mean not early like halfway through the season. I mean like 10, 15 games in. The Yankees were 5-10, and we were telling y'all back then, like, yo, it's not looking good. Yeah. Like I know Booney says they're gonna turn a corner, but like we here to tell you
that corner.
We don't see that corner. Like they're gonna be
shit, man.
I don't
want to hear Boone say that shit at all this year because I'm really gonna flip. Like my leash is short this year, fam.
He's saying that. Listen. Hopefully he never has to say it this season because we get the right personnel involved and they never have to turn a corner. So, but. Nah, man, like I just want to say, like that stood out to me, man. We were right a lot. And just more than anything, man, like this podcast, like the growth that it's had from the beginning to now, the views, the fans, the subscriptions to the channel. You guys, like you rocked with us all year, man. And like you brought people and we keep bringing this podcast has been like a staple, man. Like I think we really solidified ourselves as like we are, one of the Yankee podcasts that pretty much tag along with this team when the season, when this team is like active. Right now, we're in a lockout and we're still giving y'all content. You know what I mean? Like, how many of your favorite Yankee podcasts are doing what we doing right now? Not very many. And even I'm not trying to throw shots. I'm just saying.
No, not at all. And we also got something coming up, and I want to talk about it because I want people to know that we probably have this coming up. We got to get it straight. I got Killer Joe working on it, so we're going to see how it goes. But there's an opportunity where we're going to have a NYY News TV Classic MLB The Show tournament. And all the games are going to be broadcasted live. And you might be getting some announcing by the DS crew.
Maybe.
You might be getting some announcement by the DS crew. And I
didn't even know we could do that. Y'all didn't even know.
That shit is going to be rated R. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. Please, put the kids to sleep.
Put the kids to bed. We announced all 9. We announced
this is not a Michael K. This is not a Michael K. broadcast.
All. This is going to be like old school Howard Stern type shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about 1 through 9. We announcing it. K and Boone and Coney. It's going that's what we going for, but not like them, just to give you guys an idea, but like times 10 on that is how we're going to go on it. So what it will look like basically is you guys watching us here, we'll kind of be probably cornered down a little bit more smaller, but you'll hear us announcing the ball game. You'll hear us announcing the ball game, and that's it. And there's going to be 10 teams, per my understanding, how we're getting it set up now. There'll be a first place winner and a second place winner, and you'll get prizes. We'll tell you guys what those are. One of them is merchandise, but we got another one too for first place that we're looking into. But yeah, man, I'm really excited. We're just trying to give you guys something. You know what I mean? We're trying to give you guys something to watch, to enjoy, to stay with us. Still got more top 5 videos coming out. And we won't. This is the last podcast, so you guys know that already. This is the last DS podcast till the 2nd. But other than that, I would say my favorite moments. We've had a lot of them, man. A lot of good things with Ozzie Jr. Shout out
fun.
to Ozzie Jr. Eli Fishman, who blew up this year.
Hell yeah.
So
we were one of the first, and you guys remember that.
That's too, yeah.
Remember that, bro. Designated Spit. We were one of the first guys to bring you live and direct Eli Fishman.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're not trying to take any credit for like what Eli's done, because Eli should have blown up this year. The man is great.
It's awesome. Terrific.
Great fucking content. But just remember, bro, we had Eli early in the year. Early. And then he just went, everybody wanted him. Everybody got him.
Yep. He was on everybody's after that. But we had that, Sheffield Jr. You know what I mean? Gary Sheffield Jr. was a
really good one.
Was one of our first interviews. And then from there, that's when our relationship built and we started talking offline more. And it came towards the end of the year. Now he's joining us. So
who knew?
In a podcast show, in a regular show, who knew that was going to happen?
Who would have thought,
planned.
right?
My Kevin Kernan interview, I really enjoyed. We had a lot of people reach out to us about that. Doing the show,
probably best interview. Doing
the show with Francis, man, we have a great time. Like, and you guys don't even know. Like, we'll do like an hour or so show, but we'll be sitting here for like 2.5 hours because we
sometimes
offline
3
talking.
hours,
Sometimes 3 hours. So, and Francis done a lot of work, too, planning our next move. So, Francis got to get credit for that, too. And he got the Francis Lee line, merch line coming out. So, you guys didn't know he's also a fashion designer. He's also a fashion designer, fan.
A little bit, you know what I mean?
This man does a bit of everything, per my understanding.
Little bit of everything, yeah.
Stay tuned to that.
Man, you guys ain't ready, man. Y'all not ready. NYY News TV is going to be so big for you guys in 2022. Man.
My fiance said that to me the other day. She goes, "Nah, it's not going to be good. It's special because the way it was created, it was meant to be. And that's why everybody's joining right. That everything is there for it to be super, super successful. So we're really excited about it. But we got a show to do today.
Yes, sir.
Let's bang this one out like we would every single show and give the fans what they want. We got to start off with the big news. We got to start off with Uncle Stevie again. Coming through.
He done it again.
He did it like the boss. Boss. He said, man, imagine George Steinbrenner had Twitter. That would have been hilarious. Ooh. Can you imagine that shit for a second?
I can imagine some of the things he's going to say after a game.
Let's be fair here. He, with Twitter, is Donald Trump to politics. It would have been the same thing.
Oh, that's a really good. That's
100%. They're the same people.
It's a good analogy.
People get mad at me when I say that. They're the same. What people don't understand about people like that is, matter of fact.
But they got along. They got along really well.
Well, go watch a fan of our show, Michael Francis, former mob boss. Go watch Michael Francis. He actually talks about it. It is a mindset. These guys dealt with killers daily. People don't understand that. They dealt with killers and unions that were tough as nails. That's the reason they're molding their mindsets the way it is. Like, I'm the fucking boss. Simple as that. George Steinbrenner, look what his name was. The boss.
The boss.
He was the boss. So he would have been like Trump in the sense of, you probably can't handle my Twitter too much. You probably can't handle what I'm gonna say. You probably can't handle the way the bluntness I'm gonna give it to you.
He
good or bad, however you see that.
As much as we love George, I think we got to be honest. Like, George Steinbrenner in the Twitter era, like, yes, at this point, if he was still alive, he would be much older. He probably wouldn't be playing. But we're speaking to the possible. Like, imagine that. I'm talking like 99, 2000.
Oh my God.
Twitter.
Classic.
Imagine
90,
that
96,
version,
97,
that
98.
version of George, on Twitter today.
Classic.
And like, he probably puts Uncle Stevie to shame.
Oh,
like,
easy.
Because this is who
he'd be announcing negotiations.
Oh, hell, he'd be telling people right away, be like, yeah, like before any insider could ever say like, oh, the Yankees, have dropped out of it. Like, he would tweet out like, yeah, we spoke to so-and-so. They're a little bit delusional. He's not that good of a player.
Right.
He's not going to be wearing pinstripes next year. His loss, not ours. We're going to call A-Rod. Like some shit like that. And it'd be like, what the hell? They're going to go for Alex Rodriguez.
He would have made, and you know him, he's a type. A lot of these cats are in the same mindset, and it's true. Like, whether you like it or not, they're in the same mind. They want the headline.
They do,
like,
but
I was talking to
they understand the power of the headline.
Correct. So Rocco, who works for Ball Nine, we all went to the Italian American Baseball Foundation. I asked him flat out, Rocco's a Mets fan. And I said, Rocco, if George Steinbrenner was alive, who would Max Scherzer be playing for? He would have said George, 100%. He said he would have never. And somebody, George wouldn't have went to 40. Are you out your stinking mind?
Who said, like...
George
you don't know
you
don't know who George
allowed
is.
that to happen. Never, ever, 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 ever. Would George would have been like, this new cat's coming here. We know he got the big name already. He's about to get a guy that nobody ever thought would pitch in New York. He didn't want the East Coast. He about to give him 40-something million. George was like, all right, counter it with 48. Counter it with 50.
With 50. They'd be, if he's coming to New York, he's wearing pinstripes. Exactly. He'll come for the right price. Oh yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of people bring up, for a lot of people that go, well, I hate when people say, well, if George was alive, well, because there's actually truth to that.
Oh yeah.
George, he was that type of guy. And I think some people can't comprehend it, that would actually happen. Yes, it did. He was reactionary.
Oh yeah.
He was like, okay, the Red Sox got a headline. Okay, watch this. I'll go sign Jared Wright. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, it's a fact. Guys, the thing that like I think gets misconstrued is that people are like, because like if George was alive, people just think that, they remember with too much nostalgia and they don't remember like the mistakes. Like, no. We remember the mistakes.
Of course.
We remember the missteps.
There was a lot of good players traded. Jay Buhner.
Too many.
There was a lot of good guys.
Too many
traded.
to name. Tons of guys, tons of prospects. I mean, the team was bleeding prospect wise because like George would react, and if the team was like, trade, I don't care about prospects. They're not doing anything for me now. Yeah. Trade them, get me a guy who's going to do something now. But what we're saying is, what we're saying, who I think till this day never like forgave that. Like I think Mike Lowell wanted to be a Yankee so freaking bad,
big time,
and then like it just didn't work out. So it was like, but. What I'm saying is we remember the mistakes. We 100% remember the mistakes. I think what we're saying is like when we miss him and we remember him is that even his mistakes were better than like what's happening today. Like his mistakes were like way better mistakes in a sense. Like some people say, they spent so much money. Yes, but like they made so much money. Like the boss never lost. Guys, the boss never lost. He didn't have a year in the red with the Yankees where it was like the organization was bleeding and it just wasn't like this man took over and like the Yankees became even bigger. Do you know how hard it is to do that with a franchise bigger, like the Yankees,
with the legends of the past? Bigger?
Yeah, like I mean, this is a team. Think about it, guys. Like what Pete just said. Like this is a team that already had Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
they already had
the most notable names of
Lou
baseball.
Gehrig, Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, Joe D. They already had Phil Rizzuto. They had all these guys already.
Right.
Catfish Hunter, Whitey, all these guys already came and went.
Yep.
And he went and found a way to make guys that still stand just as tall. Like, listen, Derek Jeter at this point stands as tall in Yankees lore as any other player.
Yeah.
And he does, and his numbers necessarily aren't comparable for all you analytics people that are going to, oh, yeah, his numbers might not be comparable to Babe Ruth. They're not comparable to Mickey Mantle, but it's the legend of Derek Jeter. It stands with any other legend in Yankees lore. And that's
one of the things too that I love about Jeter. And you guys know we're going to get to Buck Showalter any second. One of the things that I love about Derek Jeter is Jeter runs his organization the way George would have. Besides, he doesn't have the money.
Exactly.
When he came in, remember?
He
came and he was like, well, you guys never won, so all the people that work here got to go. That's one.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, how dare he get rid of legends? He's like, well, it's my shit now. I'm like creating my own. So, yeah, you guys have never won with these legends and these people that have been here for years. You've never won. So, bye. You got to go. And everybody gave him a bad rap and this and that. And then the team, what? They made the playoffs, right, in a shortened season?
In 2020, yes,
they did. 2020, I mean, they made the playoffs.
Not only did they make it, they advanced past the wild card round.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I get it. I truly get it. I'm not Jeter. What I'm saying is the boss rubbed off on Derek in a very positive way. You could tell. Yeah. And he's talked about it multiple times about he never saw it as he didn't like me or he was being mean to me. He just knew I was better. He knew there was more there. He said in his Hall of Fame speech, he said great things about George Steinbrenner in his Hall of Fame speech.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's who he was. But, you know, I'm going to give the Mets a little shout out here. We're going to talk about the Mets for a second. All I got to say is another great pickup today. I think Buck Showalter is the perfect manager for this year, for where the team is right now. They need guidance. They need somebody to keep them in line. They need somebody that's going to get the most out of the players on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I said it earlier. They get an A+ for me so far. I mean, they have been terrific, and I don't think they're done yet. I don't think the Mets are done yet. I don't think they're done yet.
They definitely have some peripheral moves.
I think they'll trade for a pitcher too. I think they got enough people in their farm to do it. And I think if they've gone this far, they're going to look to make more moves to solidify the rotation even more. I really believe that.
I mean, put it like this. You got Scherzer for 3 years. You got DeGrom who can opt out after this year, which some people, don't know what's going to happen there. I think he should.
Yep.
Because he's making $30 million a year.
Right.
Which seems good. But he's the best pitcher in baseball.
And after what everybody else just got.
Exactly.
I mean, if Scherzer got all that money at his age, I mean, come on.
Yeah, now the 30 million seems like Scherzer at 43 on the same team as DeGrom. Yeah, if I'm DeGrom, you got to opt out and you got to get fucking 40 something over like 5 or 6 years, some crazy shit. But with that, just knowing that that's happening, they're gonna have to do something because they're gonna have to make significant strides in 2022. I don't think just making the playoffs is enough for a payroll at 290. Oh, it's at 270, right?
Yeah, 270.
It's at 270. I don't think just making the playoffs is enough for a $270 million payroll. No. So it means, like you said, at this point they're gonna have to make a couple more peripheral moves.
They will,
because after DeGrom and Scherzer, the rotation is a big question mark. Big time. Then, third base is still, a situation of need for them. And
got a lot of guys out there though. You got Seager out there still. You got Chapman could be traded for. So there's a lot of things that could still be done. Very interesting.
There's a couple things they can do to really shore up that lineup. But with the move for Buck, they did literally the right thing. I really thought that there was a possibility that the Mets were going to Met, and they didn't. I
knew Buck was going to be the manager for a while. I knew he was going to be a manager for a minute. It just made all the sense in the world. One, and then also two, I think, if Cohen's guiding himself, he's doing a good job of what he wants specifically, and I think it is what there's no question here. It is what Steve wants. You know what I mean? He's going to do what he wants, and he's making the decisions there. There's no denying that. There's no denying that at all. He's making the main decisions.
Listen, the Scherzer deal proves that
100%. And
there's no GM in baseball offering 40, just 43 like that.
Not at all. He was handling that negotiation. He said, "Look, just throw that. That's fine. Go anywhere to this amount, and then we'll talk." He reminds me of one of those types. You could go anywhere to that amount, and then we'll have a conversation. Yeah. But when it comes to him, Buck Showalter is a perfect manager. Man, some of the bad things you're hearing from fans who, I hate saying it again, are younger about Buck Show. It's the same stuff you heard about Tony La Russa, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
But they don't know. They don't know what.
Bro, I've seen comments as far as going, "How do you have an old white man handling a team full of Hispanics?" Which again is just stupid. It's racist. It's ignorant. It's dumb.
What the fuck does that have to do with
anything? It was the same thing. If you remember, how is Tim Anderson gonna feel playing for Tony La Russa? Like every other black guy he managed, you moron. Normal.
How is? But I never understand that, and I'm a person of color. I could never understand.
I'll never understand.
I played for nothing but white coaches the entire time that I played in baseball. You know what? I never thought about it for 1 second. Now that you said that, because I literally just went back in my Rolodex of memories and said, have I ever played for a Spanish coach or what? No, they were all white. All of my coaches were always white. And I never thought about it until today. You know why? Because who gives a shit?
No, I hate saying it, but normal people don't think about that.
Who gives a shit? Like, I was there to do a job, and like I did my job, and like.
But I've seen that. I've seen that so much today. I've seen it with that. Then I also seen it too with this idea that how could an old school manager manage a new team when they put so much money into analytics and then they go with this old man? Buck Showalter's always been an analytic guy. He's always been a number guy. That's nothing new.
I saw that tweet that they were saying.
Why do you assume the guy's a moron? And he has no idea about numbers. The guy's been around this game forever. You're smarter than he is. These 21-year-old Lindsay Adlers the Yankees are hiring. They're getting a team of Lindsay Adlers. All these young girls, and God bless them. I'm happy you girls got a job. Don't get me wrong. It has nothing to do with you being a girl. Nothing to do with none of that. It's just comical in a sense. Congratulations. We just brought in so-and-so who is going to be the quantum solace producing engineer of analytic department in the war status of minus 1812. I mean, I'm like, what the frig plus Z27? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But Buck Showalter, he can break these numbers down, guys. Don't worry, he's a manager. He can do it.
But here's the beauty of it. The first part of that tweet already alludes, it does. It alludes to the fact that they already bolstered up their analytics department. So guess what? He doesn't need to fucking even know the numbers. If you're investing all this money into your analytics department, isn't that their job to do that anyway?
Exactly.
His job is to manage the team. That's what you numbers people don't understand. Now you think that, no, we need to have a laptop managing the team. No, that's the problem. The problem is that a laptop can't manage the team. And the teams that are being managed by laptops aren't doing well.
Correct.
Mind you, last year, the team that won the World Series was actually the team whose manager said he didn't give a damn about analytics.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. You remember you were killing? A lot of people were killing Brian Snicker. Oh, no, because he said that. I mean, it's just an ignorant statement. I mean, in 2021, how do you say, and guess who was standing on top of the mountain at the end of the year?
Yep.
To me, that was the biggest fuck you to analytics that I've seen in the longest 100%. Of times. It was like, you guys were, these people were roasting him. It was on MLB Network. They were like, you just don't say that because, and well, guess what? Who went away with the piece of metal?
Facts. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
So I say that to say, Buck Showalter is I agree with you 100% here. He's the perfect manager, especially for what you got going on in today's game. There's tons of analytics. There's a lot of people everybody has all the scientists and all the nerds and whatever you want to call them. I don't know. Cause now who knows, like now, probably this year at some point, they're going to tell us that we can't call them nerds anymore.
Right. It's offensive
because it's offensive
blah, blah, blah.
And all this other shit, which I don't give a damn. You guys are nerds. At some point though, we need teams to be managed by actual managers.
Of course.
Right. What happened with the Mets this year? The whole thing with Javi and Lindor with the thumbs down to the fan. You think that shit happens if Buck is the manager?
No, never. I'll tell you right now, no way. No way in hell. There's no way in hell.
That's why they need a manager. That's why they need a manager who's an actual manager.
Yeah.
That's why they need a manager.
And it's a great fit. It really is. He's been there and done that. The media is not going to be a problem. He's done all this before. This is nothing new. He knows how to handle top talent. He knows how to do that. He knows how to play the game on the field. He knows how to play small ball. Again, he's been there and done that. He knows what he's doing. He's a perfect fit. He checks all the boxes when it comes to New York. He checks all the boxes, and it's an easy one. You know what I mean? It's one of those when you're like,
he's done it in New York,
right? And it's like you look
big.
at that and you go, look, the other guys they were going with are all terrific too. Don't get me wrong, but you look at it and you go, who's the surest bet out of this? And also too, I think it also helped that the rumor was that Max Scherzer was like, that's the guy that's going to manage us. I want Buck. So that also helps. You know, if there is any truth to that, which I believe there actually was. So, yeah, man, I'm just happy. Let me say this, too. I'm going to say like what Ozzie Guillen Jr. said. I'm happy to see these guys coming back in the game.
I agree.
I'm happy to see, and I'll give Ozzie credit. Ozzie said you're going to see it more and more and more. That older, he said, I wouldn't doubt you see Bochy come back soon. You're going to see more and more of these guys come back because guess what? Folks are going to realize this maybe isn't working like we thought it might. Maybe we still need a manager and not a puppet master. Folks, I'll tell you right now, if somebody could come to me and open up a book and go, Pete, here's an amazing thing that you don't know about Aaron Boone. He actually told the Yankees this year that he's going to manage his own games. He actually said he's not doing what they wanted anymore. I'd sit here right now and say, let's fucking go.
Hell yeah.
I'm on board with that Aaron Boone all day. Because he has this. Yeah. Never said he did it.
Oh, we always say he's a great baseball mind. The only thing I have a question
about Aaron Boone is his pride. Because if you are a puppet, like everyone in the world knows you are, you got to have some balls someday to go, you're fucking with my name. Enough is enough. I can't do this no more.
Oh, yeah.
That's my problem. I never had a problem with Aaron Boone. You guys know that. Nobody's backtracking nothing. If he comes out and be's who I know he could be, I'm game with Aaron Boone. I'm game with Aaron Boone. But right now, I don't know who the hell we get. So I'm going to stay where I'm at, which is basically, pray. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm praying. So
I know he's in lockstep. I know he's in lockstep with a lot of the stuff, analytically speaking, from, Cashman and the rest of the front office. I get that. But there's also times where it's just like, there's feel to a game. And that's where I want my manager to be able to like manage off a feel and not necessarily think, well, what would the computer spit out in this situation? Like, let me go with that because I know that that's what they want. And it's like, no, fuck that.
Yep.
Because they aren't in the dugout. You're in the dugout. You feel what's happening in the game right now.
Right.
You feel the shift in energy. You know what's going on. But the computer and all that, they don't analyze feelings. They don't believe in hot or cold. Mind you, everybody who's played sports knows that hot and cold is a thing, bro. It's a thing. I don't care what these analytics people say. I don't care what the computer says. I really don't care. I don't care. You all can do it. Anybody, MLB Network, you guys can keep talking about it. Aaron Boone is the number one person always said, I don't care. Yep. I don't care. I believe in hot and cold, and I'm going to die on that hill. I believe in it. And you can't tell me that it's not a thing. You can't tell me that Giancarlo Stanton wasn't hot that series against Boston.
That's all that is. Yeah, that's all. Of course, everybody knows what that is.
Come on, guys.
We know what that is. We've been there and done that. This ain't nothing new for us.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? If you've been around baseball to a degree, you know what that is. We know what Stanton was. Stanton was seeing the ball the size of a balloon. Ain't nothing was stopping Big G from doing what Big G does. And that was hit the ball hard. And hit the ball everywhere. We know that.
And that's hot and cold. That's hot and cold.
100% that's hot and cold. We know that. That's not something that we created. That's not something that's new. Everybody knows that by playing. Everybody knows that by playing the sport. You know when you got that feel. You know where everything looks good for you. You know confidence is high. You know all that. So no reason to babble on about that nonsense. Come on. I guess the thing that bothers me so much is that you mentioned this offline is that you got this like narrative being created of this new school versus old school, but numbers have always been used in baseball. That's not new. These cats act like baseball managers like Casey Stengel back in the day didn't look at numbers at all, or he didn't have an idea of guys' numbers, or great managers in baseball never looked at numbers and kind of said, well, this guy's doing good against this. Again, Joe Girardi was a very big numbers guy. He was huge. Oh, yeah. They had the joke about the binder, remember?
But what was in the binder? That's what people forget.
Numbers.
What was in the binder, people?
Right.
Numbers,
exactly.
Analytics.
Analytics.
That's what was.
So
that's what was in the binder.
He might not have launch angle in there. He might not have had that stuff in there, but he had matchups. He said, you know what? This guy's hitting 0.93 against this guy in 35 at bats. Probably a good time to pinch hit. Maybe this will make sense here. Logical shit. This has been around in baseball, guys. So yeah, launch angle, all that shit is all new. I get it. I understand it. But there's a balanced effort. It's funny because one side is kind of like, you need all the old guys gone. They all got to go. They must be out. They can never manage again. They're bad. Then you got the other side that's just like, you guys do know there's a blend to this. Like, we can make this work. Like, you don't want to push this war, bro.
There should be a blend.
Warn you, we don't want to push this war because it's not going to end nicely. So what we're just trying to say is, we can make it work, can't we? But the other side, man, they just like, they can't manage no more. Get them all out. I'm like, whoa. All right, Buck is just a dude, man. Let him be.
But what people aren't realizing is that the managers that have been successful in MLB, right, the last few years, it's not the guys you're thinking about.
That's right.
You see, if the San Francisco Giants would have won this year, that would have been a huge victory for that whole the laptop gang.
Oh,
because
time.
Kapler, that's who Kapler is. That's why it didn't work out for him in Philly, because he wasn't balanced with enough baseball guys.
Yep.
But he went to San Francisco and his lineup was full of so many baseball guys that he could just be his analytical self.
Right.
And it balanced together. Right. But let's look at who's been successful. Right. Go back to 2017. The Astros. Cheating. We know that they were cheating. I get it. Let's put that aside for now. They won the World Series, right? The manager was AJ Hinch. Do you guys know who AJ Hinch was? I don't think a lot of you realize this, but AJ Hinch was a baseball player. He played the game. He played the game in this era, not in today's era, but in a very recent era to today. AJ Hinch knows feel. He knows baseball. He knows hot and cold because he played the game. AJ Hinch is not a nerd. Does AJ Hinch subscribe to the belief that analytics can improve your team? 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Let me tell you, the pitching guru who's credited with boosting Garrett Cole and reviving Justin Verlander's career and helping Zach Greinke find new life or whatever, Brent Strom.
Yep.
He's the guru. People look at him like, oh my God, this guy's a god or whatever. Do you know how old Brent Strom is, people?
Yep.
Because he's not young.
He didn't just
get
out of college. He's not a few years away from college, guys.
A lot of them out there, you guys, they talk about Brent Strom like he's 22 years old. And they probably think that he is. When they heard that he was retiring, they were like, what the shit? Like, I mean, and then they actually saw how old he was. Yeah, not a young guy. And that team put it together, mixed it together, found a way to find success in 2017. In 2018, you had the Red Sox. The Red Sox are led by who? Alex Cora. Alex Cora, who just so happens to once again be a former baseball player who knows the game, who knows feel, who knows hot and cold, who also subscribes to the belief that analytics can help you improve your team.
Yep.
But in the moment of truth, I have to be able to manage on my gut. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what he did. 100%. And that's why the Red Sox ran through the league in 2017.
That's right.
In 2019, we had a team that was so bad the first half of the year. I think most people were like, they're not even going to make the playoffs. They're not going to, it's a non-starter. Like they're a non-factor. They're from the NL East. They're doing terrible, whatever. They're not going anywhere. Guess what? The Washington Nationals made it all the way to the World Series and beat the Houston Astros in 7 games, being managed by yet again another MLB guy, Davey Martinez. Davey Martinez, not a young guy, not a spring chicken, knows baseball, believes in feel, definitely believes in hot or cold, but also believe that analytics can help me improve my team.
Correct.
You guys see the common theme here?
Yep.
Because in 2020 it was the Dodgers, and just now it was Brian Snitker with the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, he's definitely not. He ain't no spring chicken jumping around.
He's not spring chicken. So my point is, I just went from 2017 to now. That's I think 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. 5 World Series champions, 5 managers who more or less fit that same mold of baseball guy who is favorable to analytics, but not run not
Correct.
run by analytics.
Correct.
The thing with all these managers, the difference between them and guys like Aaron Boone or even Kevin Cash at times. And you guys know I love Kevin Cash.
Yeah.
The difference between these 5 guys is they'll go with their gut. They'll go with their gut.
Very much so.
But I'm not saying, guys, we're not saying that they don't make mistakes. We called out Kevin Cash when he pulled that in the World Series.
We called that Cora.
Blake Snell out. We called out Cora in the wild card game.
In the wild card game, right?
Wild card game.
We couldn't believe when he was saying. We were like, we said it right there. I remember saying, I was like, damn, he's gonna cost him the game. Like, if the Yankees come back, it's right now. This is big. The momentum came, and then we know.
And they almost did. They almost did. But look, if the Yankees come back and win that game, 100% it goes back to him taking this taking out Eovaldi.
No doubt about it.
100%. So we're not saying they don't make mistakes. They make mistakes, but again, the reason that we were saying you don't take out Eovaldi in that situation is because of feel. And feel says this guy's dominating right now. Like he hasn't shown a chink really in the armor. Give him a chance or whatever. But analytics said, no, you got to get him out here. So he got him out there. And it almost went really bad. Or like when Kevin Cash took Blake Snell out because the analytics said he shouldn't be pitching past a certain point in the game. And then what happened? They lost the game.
Yep. Huge.
Is there plenty of times when feel has lost people games? Of course.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like these days there's way more games being lost because of analytics than there are feel.
Yes, because you know why? The weird shit you see in a game isn't feel.
Exactly.
The strange shit bringing J-Hap in, that's not feel.
Yeah, starting the game with Davey Garcia and going to J-Hap in the second inning.
Bro, I remember when that shit happened. I made a video. I was talking about there is no plan that was sat down that everybody at the table was like, yep, this is what we're doing. This is it.
This is it.
This is the plan. One. This makes all this. That's the golden tuna. That's it.
I love how they try to put it. They try to put it on J-Hap too. And I'm not a J-Hap apologist by any stretch. I was never a big J-Hap fan at all.
Right.
But I don't like the narrative that was put out there like, Hap really didn't agree with it, so it was probably doomed from the start. No, it was doomed from the start because it was a terrible fucking idea.
Hap didn't agree with it because it was a dumbass idea. He probably said, what the hell are you guys doing?
Hap didn't agree with it because you know what? No matter how he's pitching or whatever at the time, he's still a veteran and he knows the fucking game.
Right, exactly.
He's probably looking at them like, wait, why are we fucking doing this? Like, either give me the start or give the kid the start. Like,
exactly.
Just go one or the other.
He's looking at it like, wait, what are we doing? Yeah. Why? You know what I mean? It's like,
and J-Hap is he's a professional, so I don't know that he's ever commented on this shit. But I would love to hear him speak about like how that conversation went, because the Yankees have painted him terrible with that whole thing. They say that he didn't buy in. He wasn't in agreement.
Man,
he just did it because whatever, but he was really against it kind of thing.
We were talking before this about the Yankees propaganda machine, and it all goes hand in hand, man. The media was there. Yeah. We saw it with Boone. I called it out. I told everybody. I said, guys, look, they hyping it up already. They had everybody out there talking about the guy being the best manager in baseball. Ain't no one in the world believed it. Nobody. There's not one person that exists in this planet. Let me tell you something. Aaron Boone's dad doesn't think he's the best manager in baseball. And this is Papa Boone.
I think Papa Boone would understand that
there's better managers than Aaron Boone, than his son.
That we haven't even really seen Aaron Boone manage.
Yeah, probably that. He probably knows that. And unfortunately, he's probably very upset about it. So he wouldn't say that he's the best. But my thing is, I don't want to make a big rant about this because trust me, I got so many stories when it comes to this Yankees PR machine. It's been so obvious for so damn long now. The Judge injury, ain't nobody questioned it. 3 weeks, okay, turns into 3 months and ain't nobody cared. Nobody wrote nothing. There was nobody going, well, what the hell's going on here? All the injuries, all the mistakes for the moves. Oh, we couldn't. They want more from us. No, they don't. Only time you ever seen it called out was Sweeney Murdy. And then I don't know what happened to Sweeney Nerdy, but he's got really cute recently where he's just like, okay, Yankees. Because Sweeney was very much, I got your back on the corner. You don't like this, do you? Well, you don't like to be questioned because Cashman was squirming in his seat. He was like, okay, gets it, sweating a little bit. You could tell he was very uncomfortable being questioned on what they do.
They
have a great process.
They got stuff going on there that's a little different. Like I know was listening to and I didn't say this when we were offline, so I hope it's okay. But I do want to get into that Clint Frazier interview.
Oh yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. But
man, I wish I could.
He mentioned somebody. Yeah, shouts out to Hubs and Tommy Smokes and all those guys over at the Short Porch.
Yeah,
and
by the way,
Barstool.
hopefully Hubs didn't. Hubs, I don't believe he did. I'll private message or DM him, but I know I wrote it in my tweet. There was no disrespect towards Hubs and them with me saying I wish I had that interview. I'm just saying there's things I would love to have asked Clint Frazier, mainly about himself than anything else. But I think he answered some of that actually.
He answered. I think he gave a lot of insight. There's things that like came across. But what I was bringing that up for now was that he mentioned that like he had a problem with a beat writer named Randy something or other. I can't believe I'm sorry, I don't remember the full name. But and that like, he was there and then all of a sudden he just wasn't there anymore. And like something happened and the team like basically like revoked his access or whatever. And I was just like, oh, I was like, so he's put it. So this is if they've done this, if they did that for like guys like Clint Frazier, then you can bet your ass that they've done it for other players.
That's why you want to know.
So the beat writers have to be shook.
Well, put 2 and 2 together. I hate saying it, and I'm sorry to sound like this. You got Lindsay Adler and you got Brandon Cuddy as some of your main people. These are the 2 softest humans in the history of America. One's a woman, so I'm going to give her a pass. But Brandon Cuddy, I call him Brandon Cunty. And I'll if I ever meet him, I'll say it flat out. Brandon Cunty, what's going on, man? This is Pete. You definitely know who I am. I know you're the crybaby who cried about Cole being yelled at by Fenway Park fans. Are you brand new to this? You brand new to this sport, fam? But again, I got a story offline I can tell you real quick.
Okay.
About both of those two and somebody that we know. I'll tell you that one offline. If the other guy was on, I'd have him tell the story, but he's not. So I'm not going to go behind his back and tell a story that he told me. Definitely not publicly. But the way they are online, them two, it's how they are also in real life. Very much.
But see, here's my thing. Because, like, I always say, okay, like Lindsay Adler or Brendan Cuddy, like, do I personally have – sorry, I think I just smacked my microphone. Do I personally have an issue with either of the two? No.
I don't either.
Do I –
Everybody's laughing at me saying I don't either, but I really don't. It's just that here's my problem. And you already noticed. So I'm just repeating myself here. Yeah. It's the way the team is covered. You got to be able to call the club.
Yeah,
you are the voice of the fans.
Personal, yeah.
No, it's not
I think
personal.
people and that's what I wanted. That's what I want to get out to people. It's like it's not really a personal thing. Like, do I personally like their journalism style? If that really is their style, because what I feel personally, this is just my theory, is that maybe this is not even their personal style to do journalism. Maybe they want to ask questions that cut a little deeper and get a little more to like the crux of problems, but
I don't
maybe
know if those two do.
Maybe they're afraid. I don't know. But if this is their journalism style, then you know what? God bless them. But it's not me as a fan. Like, it's not what I like to digest.
Bro, my man tweeted saying he wanted to burn his computer because Aaron Hick, he got somebody who sent him a nice email. Wasn't even rude. Wasn't even nasty about questioning Aaron Hick sitting out of the game for the protest that time. The dude said, this is why I hate this job. I want to burn my computer. Over that?
Yeah, no. When I saw that, and I retweeted that, and I said it, I was like, listen, if Brendan and Lindsay, Lindsay's done it also, and I think I've definitely quote tweeted her in the past also, because my thing is this, striking the wrong chord with the fans, it happens so often with the people who cover the Yankees and then actual Yankee fans. I think the issue here is that there's this disconnect where they think that they have the pulse of the Yankees fans really because like they're cool with like one small cult of Yankees Twitter or whatever.
Yes. And that's like the only people they respond to. And if they respond to them, they know the army comes, so then they could just dip out.
Exactly.
It's so it's like high school. Felix said it great. Felix said Twitter has become high school for Yankee Twitter.
No, it is.
And
it is.
He's right.
But my thing is like straight up, like, I just want to put it out there. Like, those people don't speak for all Yankee fans.
Not at all.
Like,
not at all.
I don't even say, like, I'm not saying, that Pete and I speak for all Yankee fans. Here's my thing. there's no one podcast that can speak for all Yankee fans.
No.
The reason that there needs to be variety, the reason that NYY News TV is doing what we're doing is precisely because there needs to be variety, because you cannot encompass all of the fans in one freaking, like, it's
one of my main
style.
reasons. It's one of my main reasons for starting this.
Yeah, you can't. You just can't. There has to be difference. There has to be unique, different.
You gotta have. You can't have everybody out there praising the Yankees for everything, and then most of the fan base is like, "What do we? Wait a second. Like, did we all watch the same game here?" That's the issue. And Kevin Kernan in his interview brought it up great. He said, Pete, I always saw it as my job was to be the voice of the fan. And that's what I think too. And I know Adler had some bad things to say about that. She was like, no, that's not no. Like, my job is my job, and that's it. Like, I'm not supposed to go out there and get these guys. She said it one time. What did she say? I think she retweeted somebody, and I commented on it. She never responds to me. But then she commented and retweeted because somebody kind of said the same thing as I did. And she was like, that's not my job. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's not your job to ask tough questions.
Like, they were like, you should be asking the question. She did say something like, that's not my job. And then it was like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, you're like, then what is, wait, what's your job?
But here's the thing is, like, yeah, in 2021, maybe covering the team has taken on
maybe
it's taken on a completely different meaning, because at the end of the day, the teams do have this power, right? Where they get people, they can kick people out of the clubhouse, and they've utilized it, right?
Well, they don't even have the clubhouse now.
Yeah, now they don't even have access to it. So
it's like mute your ass.
Everything is Zoom. They mute you. They control it. And I think that's what it is that, listen, let's call a spade a spade. Like, these people don't want to get frozen out of the brain trust. Yeah. If this is your livelihood, like if you're Lindsay Adler and you're covering the Yankees for The Athletic, right? The Yankees are a huge team. They're one of the hugest teams in all of sports, period. Yeah. Right?
Right.
Some people could argue that they are the biggest. You're covering that team for a reputable, organization and website like The Athletic. Yep. You need access to them. If you go and ask a couple questions that rubs a couple people the wrong way, and you call out, say, Brian Cashman, or even worse, you go directly at Hal or whatever, maybe the Yankees are in a place where it's like, oh, you do that and you're frozen out. Like, we're muting you. We're not taking your questions in the Zoom room, and you'll get the point eventually, and you won't be able to have access. And then how do you do your job then? Like, how do you cover the Yankees for The Athletic if you can't talk to the Yankees? So maybe now there's that fear that it's like, I got to kind of play the game because I need to be able to talk to these guys or whatever, which is like, okay, I understand. You got to play the game. You got to play the game. But I think then that's where creativity needs to come into play, right? Yeah. You have this job for a reason. You're good at what you do. Be creative. Find a way to ask the question in a way that's respectful enough, but direct enough where people know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah. I didn't expect people in the middle of the year to go and literally say like, well, Aaron Judge, Hal says that this is a player problem and not a team, like not an organizational problem. So, how do you think that feels? How do you feel about that? Like, don't you think Boone is a part of the problem? Like, no, I wouldn't have asked it like that. But there is a way to ask a guy like Aaron Judge, who was pretty much the heart and soul of this team at that time, and say like, okay, the owner of this team said today that this is a player problem, right? You are one of the players on this team, right? Do you agree with that statement? Do you think this is a player?
Or do you feel that you're a problem?
Or do you agree with that statement? Do you think you've been a problem? Yeah. Or you've been the problem? And of course, Judge is a great guy. He's going to answer with probably, I think we've all been a part of the problem at one time or another. And we just got to get together as a group of guys. But okay. But do you also feel that leadership should also shoulder part of that blame?
Exactly.
I would love to see how Judge answered a question like that, but we never got to see that this year.
No, you don't. We never got a chance to see
because they won't
like
ask. And what's disrespectful about that question?
Nothing.
I didn't name Hal Steinbrenner. I didn't name Brian Cashman. I didn't name Boone. I didn't name Randy Levine. I didn't name anyone. I just piggybacked.
And one of the things too for like somebody like Lindsay Adler, like Brandon Cuddy, and just those two for an example. There's more of them. They're not the only ones that cover the Yankees. To be fair to them, but the also problem is too. That we're also in a horrendous political environment where everything has to be political. So they're human. They're human like I'm human. They're human like you're human. They're human like all of us.
Yeah.
And sometimes their political agenda gets into their work. And I understand that. I don't knock them for that. I don't. Because they're human and people will do that. Hell, I've done it. I did a lot of my podcast. I said I'm not going to do it as much anymore because I know there's different sides of the aisle. And I want everyone to feel welcomed here. Even if we got different opinions, that's okay. But you could tell Lindsay Adler a lot of times all year. She was like the investigator into who was vaccinated or not. And it was weird. Yeah. It's like, it's kind of weird, Lindsay. Let them be. They're athletes. They're one way or the other. They're going to probably be okay. They're healthy men. They're going to be all right. But
but that was weird. That was weird to me because it's like, okay,
weird. It was
that's
very
right.
Weird. But again, like, it's the problem of it is the politics involved. In the world where there's an assumption if you don't get a vaccine, you're like this, and if you do get it, you're like this, and you're welcome. I feel like, but it's not like that, and the world shouldn't be that way.
I feel like if you ask her, right, part of that would be like, well, that was one of the biggest stories of the year. Like everybody like was on this witch hunt, and all the organizations like who was vaccinated, who was not. Like this was a story that people wanted to hear. It was like, okay, I get that, right? But you went about that with so much passion, right? Like finding out like, you know, who was vaxxed and who wasn't, and you know, whatever. Like you put a lot of energy into that and reported on that
political network.
Like, well, no, but my thing was like, that's the passion that I'm asking as a fan. Exactly. That's the passion that I would like you to see you like take when it's like the team is skidding forever and Boone just keeps saying the same thing. Yeah. Like, why doesn't anybody have that same passion to be like, hey, Aaron, like it's really starting to sound like you're saying the same thing after all these brutal losses.
So many times this year too.
You know what I mean?
I called out so many of them. I always say it. I was shocked when I watched, and Kevin Kernan made me laugh because it came apart that you were just like, I can't even watch the post game anymore because you know what you're going to hear and it's going to drive you mad. And I remember the thing with Glaber, and it was October something. It was the beginning of October, and we had a couple of games left only. And this dude flat out was like, "Yeah, I told him he feels bad about it." But bro, this is like the 12th time this year, and you're like, there's been no discipline at all.
But that's it.
You can't come out here and be like, guys, no, I told him. You know, he's not playing him or whatever. I took him out the game. Why'd you take him out, Aaron? Because I told him all year. And yes, he feels bad about it. That's a different story. Because then it's like, cool. If you take him out the game, then you're like, yes, I told him about this. Enough is enough. That's it. We're not doing this no more. So, guys, I'm happy that we get to get this stuff out the way in 2021. And we're going into a new year because I don't want to be talking about this shit. You know, come next year. We got so much still to discuss. We got the CBA. And I know, Francis, you got some things you want to cover on CBA. Oh, yeah. And
just put out what's going on with that.
Let's hear some of that, and then they're actually gonna. Man, it's kind of weird, man. We'll be dwindling down here on the last episode. Of 2021. Man, oh man.
Yeah, just to give you guys like a real quick update, I guess, right? Like so people know because there's a lot of misinformation out there, right? I'm taking this direct from MLB Network, right? These are where each of the sides are currently, right? MLB has proposed eliminating direct draft pick compensation from teams signing and losing free agents, which means that refers to the whole qualifying offer thing, right? Maybe taking that away so that teams are more partial to signing players who have the QO attached to them.
Which I don't mind that. I actually like that.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I think it needs to happen because I think that's a really bad excuse that some organizations have used not to sign good players.
And Francis, I just got to jump in right there too. You're right. What you use is it's an excuse, folks.
Yeah, that's what it's become.
Players don't come up to the majors immediately. It's not basketball.
No,
you know what I mean. Guys don't just get out of high school, or whatever, or get drafted number one. They're in the major leagues. That doesn't happen here.
Super rare that something like that would happen. That should not stop
you from signing a free agent who can help your club. That's a definite excuse.
Another proposal was a draft lottery. And that's much like what's used in the NBA, where you can't just tank so that you get the first pick. It doesn't work that way. You can tank all you want, but it just gets you a better shot at a chance for the first pick, but it's no guarantee. Like the lottery ball, the little golf ball still has to come out, for you. And that would be good because you'll have teams who maybe weren't even the worst team in the league ending up with the first pick. And it's like, that's a good reward. Like, they deserve it. Like, it shouldn't just be like you tank year after year after year and get a bunch of, high draft picks.
Now, Francis, explain this to me real quickly a little bit, because I'm not a big basketball guy, as you know.
Yeah.
So let's say, for an example, here's how I would like that to be seen. If a team does struggle, that they have more balls that would come out and give them a better chance. Is that how that works, or do they just choose
exactly?
Anybody?
That's exactly how it works.
That way? Okay, so that makes sense.
So you basically, like, having a bad record gives you a higher probability of the first pick, but it's not guaranteed.
I like that.
The Warriors ended up with like a first pick recently, and the Warriors have been a great team for a long time. They had one bad year. And ended up with like a really high pick because of the chance, right? Mind you, that year, everybody was like, oh, the Knicks are going to get it this year. They're going to get the first pick. They're going to get, because the Knicks were terrible.
Right.
And they didn't get the first pick. Wow. And it's like, I like that. I like that for the major leagues, because it's like, it's good. Like, if you get a team that's like just constantly doing that, like, now that's not an excuse. Like, oh, like, well, we're not going to sign any players. We're not going to spend any money because we're not, it's not a part of our window yet. So we're just not going to do that. And the team is terrible. It can't, like, basically Baltimore is not going to be rewarded with super high picks every year because they're terrible. Yeah. They're going to have to spend some money and do stuff because there's no guarantee.
That. I actually like that.
I also think it's a great idea. Obviously, the next thing, universal DH. No need to even talk about that.
We all agree.
That's long overdue.
Yep.
Increase to the minimum salary. I agree.
We both said that. We agree with that.
Baseball income has skyrocketed.
I was talking to Pops about that the other day, man. And, me and him were talking about it a little bit on what they're looking to propose, and that's one of the things I talked about. He agreed to me. He said the same thing. If you're affording to buy a ball club, you got to have a payroll. You should be handed at some level where it's like, hey, unfortunately, we can't agree to you buying this club because you can't meet that commitment.
Exactly.
If you buy a ball club, you have to be able to meet that commitment. That's all there is to it. It's only fair to the fans. It's unfair to the fans any other way.
Yeah, no, he's right. 100%. There needs to be something. Again, there was a proposal of a salary floor. Mm-hmm. That's not here on what I'm reading from MLB Network. But this was reported earlier, on MLB Network, that there was a proposal early on of a salary floor of about $100 million. Now, while their heart is in the right place, I don't think it's fair, and I'll tell you why.
I agree with you there. I think $100 million is too high.
Yeah, it's too high. Here's my thing. I feel like $100 million is too low for the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, and people like that.
Right.
But it's way too high for Pittsburgh, for the Baltimore Orioles. It's way too high.
Well, think about it for a second,
Tampa
right?
Bay.
If you want that to happen, what does a team like Pittsburgh do?
Yeah. How do they get the money to spend $100 million on a roster? I mean,
you would sit there and you go, okay, we can re-sign Reynolds and our top young guys. But we're really just going to give these guys, $10+ million just to do it?
But that'll be what happens. And that's the thing.
Have to be.
And that's the thing. It's like,
going to go there.
And here's the thing. It's like, this happens in the NBA with consistency, where mid-level guys who really aren't guys, you don't have to stare at me. Guys who are mid-level. They're not like the best players in the world. Seriously, stop doing that. Guys who are not the best players in the world are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money when they're not LeBron, they're not Steph Curry, whatever, and they just get paid because the team has to spend a certain amount of money. And it's like, you end up with these random people with these super inflated contracts, and you're just like, damn, that guy's making that. And it's like, yeah, well, this is going to happen in the MLB, where it's going to be literally, you see how we complain with Aaron Hicks, we're like, damn, or whatever, Aaron Hicks making it. If this happens, guys like Aaron Hicks end up making 17, 18 million a year. And you're just like, shit, how did he end up getting that kind of money? It's because they had to meet a certain floor. Like I said, I think their heart is in the right place, but it should be percentage based. And this is not anybody's proposal. Right. This is Francis Lee of Designated Spittaz proposing this. I think it needs to be percentage based. I don't think it needs to be an actual number.
Based off revenue?
I think it should be based off revenue. I think it should be a percentage.
That makes sense.
So that it's fair based on what your team brings in. That's your floor, because the Yankees floor shouldn't be the same as the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No,
like
not
the Yankees, they're projected at 700 million, gross revenue, and Pittsburgh is like 100 million or lower than 100 million. It's like, so how could you make them spend 100 million when that team doesn't normally even bring that in? Unless you're going to help them to make way more, you can't expect that from them. That's what I'm saying.
No way. I agree.
Yeah. So that, and look, hey guys, you see, it's good that you guys got that. That's straight designated Spittaz stuff right there. That's not even MLB Network.
Facts.
The next thing that they proposed was, I don't know what just happened to my picture here. Okay, there we go. The next thing MLB proposed was an increase in the luxury tax threshold. This one is a joke. It was a $4 million increase that they proposed. So from 210.
That was from Hal Steinbrenner. He proposed. He said, "Look, guys, if we're gonna go up, all right, we'll go ahead and go up. Not a problem. Let's bump it up by $4 million."
Yeah, that was a joke, and I think one of the reasons why the team, the Players Association was so upset, right? On MLB Network, you could really tell that like MLB Network is like super pro owners because the way that they were covering everything.
Yep. Right.
And it's just like, that's not really how you cover something like this, because fans, right, we're in the middle. Like, we're not really pro either side. Like we understand that there's wrong on both sides.
Right, of course.
But MLB Network was actually like speaking about this, like this was like a plausible offer. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding? Like,
they got to be out there friggin' mind. $4 million. That's disgraceful.
That's a joke,
walking
bro.
Into a negotiation you know is gonna close. You're
exactly.
like, this shit ain't happening, fam.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
That's
disrespectful.
Like when I saw that, I was like, okay. Now when I heard that Tony Clark and the rest of the reps from the player side saw this, got up after 7 minutes and walked out, I was like, yeah, I kind of get it, because if 7 minutes in, you're talking about increasing the luxury tax threshold by $4 million. It's like, oh, so you guys want to play games? Okay, so let's come back when everybody's ready to actually talk about some shit.
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing this?
I'll go old Italian on that negotiating. They're jerking you around. That's all.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Jerking you around. That's it.
And you're 100% right. So if they felt like that, I don't think they were wrong, because here's the way that MLB Network like framed it that got me hot, because I'm just like, you could tell they're so pro owner. It says increase in CBT threshold, 4 million increase to 214 million, in line with the 6 million increase in the last CBA. Trying to make it look like we're not doing anything different. This is just in line.
When was the last CBA? 10 years ago?
94 or something like that?
Yeah, 95, right? Wasn't it the year of the strike? So 95 years ago, 94, 95.
94, 95. We're talking 20. We're talking almost 30 years now. Like, we're 20 plus years ago.
What would 6 million be today in inflation? I would love to know the number. What, 14, maybe 12, 11, 10 even?
It's got to be something
around
like that.
8,
which is
minimum.
Which is why I'm saying that the players have to be looking for something around 240.
Yeah,
like, I'm sure they would maybe, capital M, maybe settle for a threshold of 230 million. But I'm sure if they had it their way, it would probably be like 250.
Oh yeah, but they're gonna have to settle.
As crazy as 250 sounds, it's really not that crazy when you think about it.
Not in today's game. It's not.
Look at the Padres. They could easily like field the team that they have and be at or around 250. Dodgers, same thing. The Mets, they're over. Like, they're at 270. As of right now,
they're going to be over either way. They're
$60 million over the current luxury threshold.
They're going to be over either way.
But here's my thing. They shouldn't be 60 million over with the team that they have. The team that they have right now should be about 20, 30 million over the threshold. Yeah. But it's 60 million because the threshold is too low. 214 doesn't do shit for that. 214 is a fucking, it's a smack in the face, and it's something that makes fans of teams like the Yankees feel like Hal is dicking us around, because it's like, bro, if you were in agreement with proposing a $214 million threshold, you're just basically saying you don't want to fucking spend no money.
Right. Exactly.
You want to have that as an excuse, like, well,
we know he was in agreement of lowering it. He wanted to lower it. So
he was one of the owners that voted for it to be lowered all the way to 180.
That's insane. So think about that for a second.
Ridiculous.
Think about that. So, when people are concerned about them spending, I understand why. Yeah,
because look, this stuff is out. And then there's people there that say like, no, like you have to be smart about it, because if he comes out too strong in opposition to lowering it, then everybody's going to like immediately turn on him. Don't get me wrong. Listen, I studied business. I understand that there's a side of it. There's a side of it where like you do have to be smart, right? Because at the end of the day,
it's a negotiation.
It's a negotiation, and you are the Yankees. You have been the most successful franchise this game has ever seen. You have 27 World Series championships, and a lot of it as of late has been due to your financial wherewithal. So if you come out too strong in opposition of lowering it, then there's teams who might jump on board to the other side really hard, because they'll be like, well, you don't want to go against it because you just want to outspend us and make us look bad and take all our players and all that shit. So it's like, you do have to kind of like lie, play like a shark and be like low in the water and not let them see you coming or whatever, be like a little snake in the grass kind of thing. But to be as vocal about lowering it to 180, Hal, give me a fucking break, bro. Well, I don't think so.
Oh, excuse me. But even with one of the things with him too that makes it even worse for him is that he was also going around the room trying to get other owners not to sign anybody until this thing's over. So
he was doing that.
That makes it even worse, because now it's like, okay, bro, like on top of that, these cats don't even respect you to listen to you.
No,
so I don't know what power you may think you have. You got the Yankee brand, but cats aren't seeing the Yankee brand the same anymore.
Nah, I don't think people were going to listen to that straight up, because it's like, bro, this is a competition at the end of the day. Like, right now you guys are, and that's where I feel like the Yankees need to be the Yankees again. Remember in 94, everybody got pissed off because George went and extended Paul O'Neill. And everybody was like, what the fuck? Like, why are you signing Paul O'Neill to a contract? We're on a strike right now. It was just, there's a lockout or whatever. And you're going and you're because he was like, yo, like, okay, like, we whatever, but like, I'm gonna get my player. Like, this is still a competition. Fuck y'all. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right now, like, we're technically on the same side, but in reality, are we on the same side? Like, a lot of y'all want to see me dead. Like, let's call a spade a spade. A lot of y'all don't want to see me win. Hal needs to be aware of that. Like, becoming buddy with all the other owners right now, because technically you're on the same side, that's not conducive to the Yankees being successful, because they don't want to see the Yankees win another World Series. There's not another. What other team in baseball wants to see the Yankees win another World Series? Nobody. People were rooting heavily for Tampa Bay a couple years ago. Why? Because it's Tampa fucking Bay.
Of course.
Okay. When the Cubs were in it, I think 85% of the country was like, let's get the Cubs one. They need one.
One.
It's
Yeah,
100 years. You know what I mean?
The story behind it.
The Yankees, the last time people were rooting for the Yankees a little bit was 2001. And that was because of obvious reasons. But outside of that, they don't want to see you win. So becoming buddy with them is just stupid at this point. I think you have to like work together, right? And negotiate in good faith, but also remember that the bottom line is your bottom line, and you need to look out for the New York Yankees. Anyway, that's what they suggested. Some of the reported proposal from the players, it's only 3 that they put here, obviously, because they're MLB Network and they're a pro owner. But the things they came up with the players proposed changing the 6-year reserve period for free agency to 5 years. So
I have some harsh feelings about that.
That's the service time thing.
Yeah, I had some harsh feelings about that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Okay. Totally. And I think some people are going to be like, Pete, what do you mean? If Cat's a good ball player, he's making a lot of money in arbitration. We know that. Yeah, he can make more. Because I think they said, like after the second year, they want arbitration to kick in like immediately. Like after their first full season or something like that, then like right after the second year, they're arbitration eligible.
They want it to come after the second year.
To the second year.
Right now, it comes after 3.
Let's say for an example, they do that. They don't have no floor or nothing like that. You might start seeing some of these guys traded to better clubs quickly. And not given a chance to actually grow and build. Because, again, like you said, it's a very delicate balance here, because you got to do it in a way where the teams that are not as financially stable could compete with your larger markets, and you got to figure out a way to make that work. One of the easy ways to make that work is that you give these guys some time with these ball clubs, and that they stay there. Now, the arbitration thing, okay, maybe we can get away with that, but cutting a full year out of a guy, that's a big thing. People say, well, it's just 1 year. 1 year's a big deal for some clubs.
Yeah,
1 year's a big deal for some clubs.
I think me personally, the reason that I'm like for both of those proposals is because it likens that whole process to what the NBA does. And it does it in a way that players are going to get to free agency a lot younger, meaning there's not this question of, damn, is this guy going to get paid by this team because he's already getting a little older, and then we know how this team operates. Like for instance, like some guys get to free agency with a certain team and you automatically know they're gone. You just know that they're leaving because you're like, this team's not going to spend on a player at his age with his skill set. Like they feel like they got the best years that they were going to get out of him. They're not going to pay for the next 5. And it's like, see, the way it works in the NBA a lot of times is like, yeah, the players will have their rookie deal for 4 years, right? A lot of these kids hit free agency at like 24, 25, 26 years old. They're still young as hell. They get paid. A lot of them stay with the team. They get paid by the team that they came up with, and they stay because the team has gotten some good years and believes that they're going to continue to get good years. So it's like, look, you get a team like Philly. They let Harper walk, obviously, because they were like, oh, you know, whatever, we're not going to pay. But it's like Harper got to free agency at the right age. Like they let him walk. They let him walk because I guess they thought like they weren't going to be contending. But then a year later, they were making moves to contend. Like it doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Nationals. They let him walk and like thinking like, okay, like we're not going to pay him. We can afford. Okay, fine, whatever. But then in 2019, they go and win the World Series without him. It's like, not saying that like he wasn't an impediment to them winning the World Series at all. I think they would have won with him. And I think, you know, he probably should have been re-signed in Washington. Like there's no reason for a guy like that to walk. And I think when you lower these years, there will be a couple different outcomes. One of them is that teams are going to start trading these guys a lot earlier. It's true. Right. It's true.
Right.
But I feel like what's never going to change, right? Unless something really drastic happens, there's just always going to be teams that don't spend the money. And I think that's the understanding that has to happen. I think the players kind of understand that. And that's why they're asking for some of the things they're asking for, because it's just like, all right, fine. Like for the last proposal that I'm going to read is they asked for a reduction in the revenue sharing that's provided to the smaller clubs. And the reason they're asking that is,
well, they can't live off everybody else.
It's like, but here's the thing. It's like, what's the point in the Yankees and Dodgers sending money to teams like Pittsburgh and whoever if they're not even going to invest it into the players?
Well, exactly. That makes sense.
What the hell are you doing with our money then?
Right.
Like that's the thing. It's like,
where's that going? Where's that going? Is it going to be pocketed? Like what?
It's like, yeah, we're sharing the money, but it's like, what? Like you're not signing anybody. You're still trading your players to the bigger clubs. You're still letting your guys walk in free agency. Like, so then what do you do with the money? Like you're just lining your pockets. Okay, fuck that. Like that, I might as well keep my money. And it's like, so if they do that, then it's like, okay. And the players now if they do that, then it's like, okay, now they have more of an excuse to trade a player who's coming to free agency at like age 24, 25, and they know that they're not going to afford him. Then it's like, okay, yeah, they're probably going to trade him a lot earlier. It's true. But like what I think it could save is these crazy contracts, right? And a lot of people are going to disagree with me here, but I think there's a possibility, right, that if we change this, we can find a way that teams don't have to give out those 10, 12, 13, 14-year extensions just to keep a player, because now a player is not necessarily only going to sign one contract.
Right, exactly.
I think the way that things are currently structured, bro, players really can only hope for that one big contract.
Well, that's why I got a proposal.
Okay.
You know how.
I see the meme in my head right now.
You see it already? You see it right now?
I see it already.
Ready for this one? A player's time should start upon them being signed out of college. I don't know how it goes with, Dominican players. Of course, some of them sign at 16. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair that a guy like Aaron Judge, who comes up late when it comes to Major League Ball players, has to wait 6 years then to become a free agent.
Yes.
What if
now
that
he's
started
30.
earlier?
Yeah.
And he comes up, has this 50 home run season with the Yankees, comes back and has another good season. Like, okay, now you're a free agent. Huh.
Oh, he would have got paid a long time ago. Yeah. No.
I think there should be a way where it happens that you got this. Like, okay, let's take Henry Davis for an example, who was the first-round pick for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Supposed to be a legitimate great catcher. Rutschman, who's a number 1 prospect for the Orioles. They're kind of rushing through the system, right? Mm-hmm. What if they're 2 years into their 6 already? And they start next year. They got 4 years. So now you could say, as the Orioles, this kid, okay, he's showing. He got 2 years to play around. Damn, he looks good. Hey, let's give you an 8-year deal. Let's pay you $14-12 million a year. And the player might be like, fucking great. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And I think you're right.
It
that would stop a
incentivizes
lot of the
them.
craziness that we're talking about.
What you're saying right now basically incentivizes teams also to like stop prospect hugging and manipulating the time.
If we're gonna use this idea that we want, our youth to take over, we want to, put these young guys. The drafts are now, again, we know, right? Prospects are like the holy grail now to fan bases. Yeah, fan bases years ago had no idea who the top 10 was. Most Yankee fans will tell you right now who the top 10 is. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, why not have it where we're basically telling these kids, hey, look, we're gonna get you up to this level. You just got to perform. We don't have to rush it, but we'll get you. We've got 6 years to get you here.
They got to get. I think. All right, maybe fresh out of college and like with the international thing is not as realistic. But I think there's something to be said.
Well, you could
for
change
like,
the numbers too. I think, right?
I think
something like that.
I would like it. I like the idea saying like, okay, like if a player, like I think a player who's been in your system 1 year or more and is at least 19 years of age, their service time begins.
Yeah, I think, or like I was going to say that too. Maybe when they reach,
make it an age. I don't want to make
it. It has to be something that can't be controlled.
Exactly.
Because if somebody was like, well, when they hit AA, okay, well, we could leave them in single A to develop.
Exactly. No, it has to be like.
So you
age,
can't do something where these cats will manipulate because they would.
Yeah, you can't stop the age. It's
and
like,
I think that would be terrific. And they go, okay, well, hey, what? The 6 year starts now. And look, if they're 19 years old and they're already in A ball, some guys are in AA already at that time. If they're that good, then okay. And look, some of your fringe prospects who don't get a chance, well, that gives them a nice way out. Or forces them to even have a bench role or something.
They get to be free agents quicker and younger. Like if you say 19, then that means that the average MLB player is going to hit free agency at 25 years of age.
Right.
25, even if you're a minor league free agent at 25, like you still got a lot of time left.
That's what I'm saying. How many of those minor league guys are blocked by somebody and now they get a shot? Or it opens up the door to some of these guys to be traded that are younger. To get to a team, look, man, we could solve this thing ourselves. Yeah. Get us in a room. We could solve this thing ourselves.
I'm telling you.
I don't know how that doesn't make sense. I could see owners being like, oh, well,
no, they're going to fight. Oh, no, they're going to fight. They're going to fight.
This is how my owners
They're going to fight tooth and nail.
Shit.
Oh, man, Peter's dying over it.
You could tell them for the players.
For the players. He couldn't even do the owner voice, man, because that's how much. Nah, bro. They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight tooth and nail because they want to be able to like manipulate guys' service time, like what with Glaber or like Chris Bryant to me is the poster child for it. Like
100%.
Chris Bryant got screwed.
Big
like
time.
He's gonna get paid a decent contract this year.
Course.
That's true. But if he would have become a free agent when he was supposed to, like I think almost 2 years ago, he would have gotten paid. Like he would have been coming off of like a fresher MVP that was more recent than it is today. Like it would have been like he would have gotten paid, capital P-A-I-D. He would have gotten paid. But the Cubs played the game, like, and it's not to get mad at the Cubs or anybody be like whatever, because the Yankees do it. Everybody does it. Everybody manipulates service time because it's a hole. It's a hole in the system, and they have to patch it. But I think that one of the other proposals that the players do have is based on age. It's not 19. Okay. It's not 19, but there is a proposal that they have that's based on age. So you're thinking my thinking is in line with some of the stuff the players want to do, because you can't manipulate age. Like age it's a constant. It's gonna like you can't really mess with that.
It's gonna happen. So
I don't listen again. I understand. Like if you manipulate the service time thing, if you change the service time thing, and you change like the arbitration eligibility thing, it obviously really favors the players. And it seems like everything that the players are asking for is like super favorable to them. But you guys have to understand that the last CBA that was signed extremely favored the owners.
Correct.
Like, and the owners exploited the hell out of it for years.
Correct.
Like they said that the luxury tax threshold wasn't going to operate as a salary cap. It's basically been a salary cap for like 80% of the league.
That's
right. They said that the international money being docked from people and the draft picks weren't going to stop people from signing players that had QOs attached. Right. That's a lie. Yep. There's teams who have never signed players because of QOs. Like all the owners made out like fat cats in the last CBA, and the Roosters are coming home to roost. They like, nah, like we're not about to sign another deal that's screws us in that
for
way.
All these years too. This is not a short-term thing. So
these deals are super long. If you're the players, look, you got to understand, the owners are going to make their money, guys. The owners are going to make their money one way or the other. They're going to get their bread. The players just want a bigger piece of the pie. I understand. Are some of the things that the players come up with crazy? Yes. The players are not completely innocent in this too. They are also a little greedy, and there's things that have to be, weird, like worked out there. I get it. But the main point of their argument is right. They were fleeced in the last deal, and they need to make sure they don't get fleeced this time, because there's a ridiculous amount of money being made by the Major League Baseball.
Yep.
By Major League Baseball right now.
That's
pretty much it.
Big time. Well,
that's pretty much it.
I'm just hopeful. Let's be hopeful. NY News TV got a big thing dropping in January. We're excited. Man, let's get this thing out the way, and let's break some Yankee news. Let's talk about the moves the Yankees make. We still don't have a full coaching staff. We talk about there's a lot of fun stuff that we're gonna have the opportunity to talk about, man. And I'm just so excited moving forward. So,
who are we missing still from the coaches? Do you remember off the top of your head?
What is it? Bench coach? I don't think we have a bench coach yet, do we? Or do we still got Mendoza still there?
No. You're right. I think we need.
I think they moved that. I think
we need
still
the bench
have the
coach.
Bench.
We have a third base.
We have
coach,
the hitting coach
Rojas.
now. We got pitching.
We got our hitting coaches.
Unless they wanted to do two pitching coaches, which I don't know much of. I don't think there was anything like that.
I don't think Matt Blake needs.
I know they wanted to have. They still got to hire about 13 more hitting coaches, I believe, because I think they wanted 16 at one point.
Oh my god!
So we're still waiting on the 13 others. Listen, they got to catch up to, I believe it's the Giants or the Braves, who got like 16 or 18 coaches. The Yankees only had like 8. So they got about 8 more to hire. I think they already hired about 3 or 4. So we still got about, I don't know if soon they're going to start announcing who they're hiring, like they're doing on Twitter right now with the robust analytic positions that 17-year-old girls are taking. God bless their souls.
I just hope that these
just
people
graduated
are not
high school, but
I just hope that they graduated college. All I'm saying is, listen, more power to them.
Everybody knows I'm fucking with them. God bless them.
More power to them. I just don't want to see them in the dugout. I'm sorry. And don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying I don't want to see them in the dugout because they're young women or whatever. Like, I don't care. Because, listen, Boston has some gorgeous bat and ball girls. And they can. I'd love to see them in the dugout here in New York. But what I'm saying about these hires is they're hires for the analytics team. Like, right. I don't want to see the analytics people in the dugout.
In the dugout, exactly. No, we don't want to see that at all.
Go somewhere with the laptop. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just build a box for them at the stadium where they can just look at it.
Oh, that, yeah. But they
don't watch the game anyway.
But I was gonna say they just have no windows. There's no windows whatsoever. Right. It's just like a little box, and everybody knows what it is, and that's it.
Pete, quiet as it's kept, these people, they can work down on Wall Street. They don't watch the game. Yeah, they don't have to be at the stadium.
They have no intention of seeing the game. They don't got to be anywhere near them. They can be, in a laboratory somewhere.
They could probably work from home, whatever
formulas and
in whatever state they're from. Just work from home remotely.
Working on numbers and formulas and seeing what looks cutest.
Man,
different angles of launch.
Look, let me tell you, my last point for Buck Showalter. I just thought about it now, but because what we're saying, it makes so much sense. With all the coaching staffs in the MLB, like inflating to these wild numbers, it really, really helps to have a guy like Buck at the top, because when you have all those voices in the players' heads, confusing is an understatement. Right? You're talking about people from freaking, some players coming from third world countries, some players coming, a couple years out of college, people coming from all types of different walks of life, and they're thrown into this clubhouse, told to be a team, and each of them is trying to be a team, but they're also baseball. There's a lot of individualism to the sport. So like, they're also trying to be their best version of themselves too, because they got to look out for themselves too, to an extent. And then you have 18 voices in this player's ear telling them how to do one thing. Like 18 different voices telling you how to hit.
You need somebody to manage all that shit. That's enough for one person to manage.
If you have a guy like Buck, it makes it a lot easier, because you can have 30 voices for all I care. Right. At the end of the day, somebody like Buck Showalter is going to walk into a room and you're going to be like, all right, I know I've heard a lot of shit today, but I'm about whatever he tells me is what I'm going to do. And you're comfortable and you live and die with it, because he's a leader of men. Right. And that's probably my biggest point on why I love the Buck Showalter hire.
I agree. Yeah. I love it. Well, 2021 wrapped up. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. See you next year.
That is it, man. Yeah, see you next year. But we will be back. My goodness, wow. It's just crazy. Excuse me, just getting closer and closer, man, to this launch. And like from my angle and our angle, it's so different because we knew for a long time that January was going to be the start and all that. We're going to start in the new year, and you had a lot to do, had a lot to build, had a lot to work on, figuring out the team and all that stuff. So it's exciting to know that it's right around the corner, but it's also a lot of, it also feels like it's like pressure. It's like our playoff time is coming up. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to perform, and we got a group of great performers here though. So that's the cool thing. But nah, man, next time you guys hear, let me tell you this real quick. Next time you guys hear that we designated Spittaz live every week, you're going to see the great intro that has already been released on Twitter, but you're going to see it on the show. You're going to see the transit. You're going to see the new template. You're going to see everything else that we got, the new outros, the new intros. Everything is going to feel like a fresh start, and it's just the start of the foundation that we have built, and you guys are just going to sit back and watch it grow with us, which is pretty damn awesome, because the one thing we're not taking away, as you guys know, and I made a big point of mentioning this in the trailer, is the interactive part of what we do and what our show is. We will always interact with the fan base, where there's going to be times where designated hitters will be live. You know what I mean? None of that stuff. Live chats are not going to go away. I actually believe they're going to pick up. If they start out slow, it's because we don't have all the news in the world right now to talk about. But once shit pops off, guys, don't be shocked if you seeing us or, Chris or Christian or Gary or Luca or Alex or any of these guys daily at points of where we popping on doing a live together, or one of us is doing a live. That's the way we got this thing running, man. The interactive part of the fan base is never, ever going to change. So, again, probably one of the last times you'll hear me say it until we get closer and closer to the day. I'm sure I'll still have videos before then. We're still a while away. Still about what? Roughly less than about 2 weeks. About roughly a little less than 2 weeks now. So
yeah, bro, it's gonna go by fast. I feel like
a little less than 2 weeks. Next week's already Christmas. I gotta say that, happy Merry Christmas to everybody out there. If we don't get a chance to speak to you by then, I think I probably will. I don't know if Francis will.
Oh no, yeah, Merry Christmas to you all.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. We say, and we specifically say Merry Christmas on this side. None of that Happy Holidays BS.
None of that Happy Holidays nonsense.
It's Christmas, damn it.
Christmas time, damn it.
I'm sorry.
I agree. I hate that. People say that stuff like to me when I go out. Oh, Happy Holidays. Yeah, Merry Christmas. You filthy animal.
Exactly. I purposely say
we
it.
do too. Me and my fiance, we
with
crack
some
up,
venom
man.
in it.
Yeah,
like,
we do.
Happy Holidays, sir.
Merry
I'm like,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You do it walking away too. Flip your shoulder, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I make sure to hit him, bro. I
can see Ronnie Dangerfield doing it. Remember his big eyes, bug eyes. Merry Christmas to your mother.
You have no idea how much of a Ronnie Dangerfield fan I am.
To tell your mother and sister,
funny.
all right?
All right, everybody.
Okay. Oh man, I love Ronnie, man. But anyway, guys, Thank you so much for the great 2021, the growth, the
Yes.
fun, the laughs, the anger, the debates, the rants, the blah, 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 blah. It's all been fun. It's been amazing. Guys, please go ahead and follow at one Francis Lee too, man. I don't know how we haven't got this dude well over 1,000 yet, but we trying. It's not like we're not trying. I don't know what the hell.
We almost at 500. I'm grateful. I'm grateful, guys. But definitely get those follows up, baby.
Yeah, get those follows up, man. Like, I don't understand my team. Like, the people following me, you guys follow me, follow Francis. He should have like my following. I don't get it. Like, follow him, please.
Yeah,
I don't know what else I gotta do here. Like,
they listen to you when they see that you putting something out, but when you tell them to follow people,
they don't want to listen to me. Yeah,
I don't know about that guy.
I don't know if I trust Pete. I don't know
what it is.
His judgment on who he gets over there.
You know what it is? They got to vet us. They got to vet us.
Understand,
We need some years. We need some
but
years.
We're such a team now, man. I mean, this is 1 year in the book, basically. This is 1 year in the book, basically. So I'm like,
that's a fact, bro.
And look at quick we evolving after a year. Like, Pokemon don't do this shit that quickly. Like, the Pokemons don't be doing this shit that quickly.
Nah, you gotta give them the rare candy for them to.
That's it. If you want to
evolve them this fast, right?
Like, nah, man, we actually evolving like in time, like here in front of your guys' eyes. But anyway, man, Francis, give it to him, man. This is it.
Listen, guys, the last one of 2021, biggest one of the year, so y'all already know. And it's never been more true than when I say it right now.
Oh, that's true.
The next episode will be the mother effing best episode.
You damn right. And you know, as you guys already know, we will never come whack on a designated Spittaz track. And that's also too, I mean, just that's real, because we're about to come legit next time you guys see us. So with that being said, for the end of 2021, the wrap-up show of the DS Squad, Designated Spittaz here right now from Team NYY News. Next time we talk for DS, it will be Team NYY News TV. Talk to you guys next time.
See you in 2022.
Bingo.
Tell me what you